Hi everybody, John Cena here and welcome to Season 2, Episode 18 of FunkQuest, or the Battle of the Sheriffs, because you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, John, these two guys got knocked out last time. Well, no, because the rules of the contest are that if any Funkster is unavailable, the management committee can go back to people that have been knocked out and invite them back in. No foul, no penalty, play on. So here we are in the second of the second round. And Kerry, why don't you tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My name is Kerry Wekelo. I live in Reston, Virginia, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Actualized Consulting.
Fantastic. And Kam, tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
All right, great. So my name is Kam Knight. I'm a coach, writer, and author of several best-selling books in the area of mental performance. And I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, but right now I am residing in Texas, Austin, Texas.
Good. Thank you. Now, there's been a couple of rule changes since the first round, so it's important that you guys are kind of aware of these, and the listener is also aware of these. If you're a new listener to the show and you're probably thinking, what on earth's going on? Well, you'll kind of figure it out quite quickly. If you're an existing listener, then you don't need to go scrabbling around for a piece of paper and a pencil to vote for whichever Funkster you want to go through. And I'll explain that as we go along. But the first most important thing is that each of these Funksters will pick their own questions. So there's no repetition of questions. It should make for a better show. So, Kerry, you're first up. We'll start with ladies. And you got to pick an icon from the top row. Question 1.
Okay, I am going to go with the plane.
The biplane, yep, good. When have you donated blood?
Never.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No, I have a tendency to pass out fairly easily. Yeah, so I have never donated blood. But with that being said, I'm A negative and so are my kids. So if I needed to donate blood to them, I definitely would roll my sleeves up and go for it.
That's quite a rare blood type, isn't it? A negative.
It is, yeah. So if somebody really needed it, I would do it. But I haven't been because of my pass out nature.
Why do you pass out? Is it just the sight of it or what?
Not the sight of it. It's just if I have like when I have gotten blood taken for various tests and things of that nature, I have a tendency to get very lightheaded. And I just always tell people to, lay me down so I don't pass out. So that's with a tiny bit of blood. It doesn't have anything to do about being queasy or anything. It's just really
a medical condition. Yeah,
I don't know. Sensation, I guess.
Yeah, you're allowed that. If you've got a medical condition, we'll allow that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's allowed. Yeah, Kam, question 1. You pick your own icon.
So I can pick the same question if I have a story?
If you have a story, yes.
All right, great. So I got a story. So
you want the biplane? We're talking about blood.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick the biplane again.
Okay.
All right. So I've donated blood one time in my life, and this was during a blood drive that the first job I had after college was putting on. And I didn't think I was a really healthy person at the time, and I didn't think that my blood would even be taken. But I figured, I was doing something nice, so I donated my blood. And the next thing you know, like for the next few years, I just kept getting calls from the organization that ran the drive, like, hey, can you donate blood? We're doing another blood drive. Can you come by and donate blood? And it was just like almost nonstop. And so I realized that, maybe my blood isn't all that bad. And and I was much more healthy than I thought if they were like really going after my blood. Or maybe I'm a common blood type where people need blood. But then I actually started questioning. I'm like, why are they so interested in blood? And I felt like I was being more used for my blood than anything. So that was the one time I donated blood, and I had intended to afterwards, but then I kind of got a little suspect as to why they just wanted me for my blood.
I think it's probably, they probably want your blood. I mean, it's not personal, but
yeah.
I'd have thought it's probably harder to get people to show up for the first time rather than subsequent time. Once you've showed up, you know what it's like. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too averse of needles and stuff, so that's not really an issue.
I don't look.
Yeah, and so I guess showing up the first time and then getting people to come back. But I think in the States it works a little bit differently. The blood drive organizations, I think there is some sort of, they get paid for
right, okay.
for how much blood that
right. No, this
they
is
can
just
provide.
community service type of thing.
Exactly. So that's why I started becoming suspect.
Yeah, you get nothing except a cup of tea, a biscuit, and a nice feeling.
Exactly.
That's it. No,
Yeah.
you're doing it for the dosh, then forget it. Cam, question 2.
I'll do the cannons.
Cannon. Yeah. What game have you spent most hours playing?
This is a very easy one. So when I was growing up, video games was a part of every young boy's life. And so we played a lot of video games. But I found myself, I would get like really hooked on games. And so I knew how detrimental it was to my studying and other things I wanted to do. And so I really tried hard not to get started with games or even play too many games, because it would just go hours on end and even days on end. But there was one game that I couldn't resist, and I'm sure every boy that was my age at the time knows about it, and it was Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2. It was a rage back in the early 90s. In fact, it was such a popular game. They had Street Fighter 2, and then they came out with the sequel, Super Street Fighter 2, and then Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then Street Fighter 2 Expanded Edition, and it just kept going. And that one game was the only game I played, and because I got good at it, I wanted to play it more and more. That was it. That was like...
That's Street Fighter 2. Right. Kerry, question 2.
I'm going to go with the weights and the tennis shoes.
The trainers, yeah?
Yep.
How do you like to waste time?
I actually like to work out a lot. And right now, especially being in quarantine, going on walks is a great way to waste time if I have extra time on my hands.
Good, yeah. It's a government-sponsored walk, I assume. Government approved, state approved.
Yes. On
State
my path.
Yeah.
With staying 6 feet away from everybody.
Yeah. Do you find that, we've noticed this, there's a lot more people walking than there was 3 months ago. And when this is all done, they'll be back in their cars, doing stuff. Do you notice that?
Absolutely. I mean, especially on the weekend, it's crowded. Like a street would be crowded with cars. It's crowded with people. And where I live, there's so many different trails. We have a lot of places to go and get out for walks. But I love seeing all the people out, and I hope everybody continues to go on those walks after the quarantine gets lifted as well.
Have you noticed the air seems fresher?
Yes, it's beautiful. I mean, and I'm seeing more animals as well out and about. I had never seen in my area like a gray heron. I've seen gray herons. There's more. I have foxes in my neighborhood, but I've never seen the fox have babies. So, yeah.
Question 3. Kerry, you to go first.
I'm going with a suitcase.
The suitcase. This thing here and the second one. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is something I wouldn't believe about you?
That's a good one. That I have written children's books.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Children's book. How do you start writing? How do you start writing a book for a child?
Well, I was teaching kids yoga with my kids, and there were not books that I wanted to use. So I did a series of books, and my kids each have books named after them. And a funny story is on character day, my son didn't dress up, and his teacher was like, "Why aren't you dressed up?" And he's like, "I am my character." And
Really?
she wrote me an email and said that your son's a liar. And I said, no, he actually does have a book named after him. So he brought it in the next day. So
They're from school saying your son's a liar. That's wrong, isn't it?
yeah, your son's a liar. I'm like, no, he's not. But I mean, what kid has a book written after him? So I can understand the teacher.
Did you send a copy of the book to school and say, do one,
I did.
teacher? Yeah,
I did.
So.
Yes.
Question 3. Cam.
All right. I will pick the castle.
The castle. Yeah. Which insect, I don't know where it is, insect, bug or mini beast do you find most repulsive?
Honestly, I find most insects, bugs, and mini beasts quite repulsive. In fact, I sometimes wonder what it was like when we were growing up in the hunter-gatherer days, when there weren't homes and swooping to get rid of the bugs, and you would just have millipedes and centipedes and beetles and the like just around everywhere. And I've done quite a bit of hiking in some pretty out there places like Nagara, the world's oldest rainforest, where they had leeches that would come up and jump on your skin, and as well as, you know, the Amazon, where there are fire ants and banana spiders and all of that. But if there was one that I had to pick, it would be the centipede or the millipede. I don't know what about it. It just like freaks me out with all the legs that it has and the way that it moves, and it just kind of like slivers. Not enjoyable for me.
Not desirable, no. Question 4. Kam, you go first.
All right. I will pick the, is that a jaguar?
Yeah.
All
This
right,
one.
I'll pick that.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. What is your go-to karaoke song?
All right. I do not karaoke.
Good.
When I was in high school, I had a lot of friends who loved karaoke, and that was like the go-to thing. After going out, they would cap the night by doing karaoke. And never once did I sing karaoke. And then finally, I decided to do karaoke. Actually, this New Year, I was at a bar and they were doing karaoke. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something new and bold to start the new year off right. And I decided to do karaoke. And the song that I picked was Champagne Supernova by Oasis. Yeah, I think they're an English band, aren't they?
They are Manchester. Oh, were, yeah, Manchester.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, it was a complete disaster. I should not sing or be up there, but it was something I wanted to do, like to jump out of my comfort zone and to get started my new year that way. And I think that's been really helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just going to say, of all the thousands of songs that I could pick, I wouldn't have picked an Oasis song. Well, for Kerry.
I'm going to go with the Rubber Duckies, the nurse and doctor Rubber Duckies.
Where have you been on a road trip?
Where have I been on a road trip? I took a road trip from Virginia all the way to Maine and made stops along the way. And it was a super fun trip.
How far is that?
I'd say all in all, like 13 hours, but I broke it up. So I stopped in Boston, you know, New Hampshire, things of that nature along the way, all the way to Maine. But yeah, it was super fun.
Did you have those sunglasses balanced on your head playing Don Henley Boys of Summer as you were?
I have lots of playlists for road trips. Yeah.
Did you do it all in one day? Single day? 1,300 miles?
No. I split it up like a 2-week trip. So I made lots of stops along the way, which that made it fun.
Yeah.
And the thing that was outside of my comfort zone is that I didn't have any place planned where I was going to stay. So I was doing the stays along the way wherever I wanted to stay. So that was fun.
Question 5, Kerry to go first, and we're down here. So question 5.
I am going to go with the sailboat.
The windsurfing. The
windsail, sorry.
Yeah. Question 5, who was your best boss?
Her name was Lisa, and she was really tough on me, but she was my best boss, and I probably refer back to her and use her style more than not. She would make me redo things if it was wrong, and so my attention to detail is very, very keen because how she taught me. So I really appreciate everything that she did for me.
Was it frustrating at the time when you kept getting stuff passed back saying do it again?
Absolutely. But it made me learn, and I don't make those mistakes. And if she wouldn't have done it that way, so I tend to be a little bit nicer than she was, but I do use that because if I do it for people, they're not going to learn. So it was a really good teaching method. Yeah,
kind of being like a critical friend. I mean, I once worked somewhere, and I almost trained them to kind of, by the end of our time I was working there, I could look at something and just sign it without looking at it, because they knew that if I'd trained them that it got to be right, otherwise I'd just throw it back at them. Right, what are we on? Question 5. Kam, you get the last question of this episode.
Yeah, I like that last question. I'm contemplating if I should go with that one or something else. So if I go with that one, do I need to give a story to tell the answer?
It has to be relevant to, I can't remember whatever that question was. Best boss, yes.
Okay, so I'll do that one.
Okay, the windsurf.
And the reason I want to pick that is I just want to kind of pay homage to the bosses I've had. I've had a lot of good bosses, but when I was younger, I tended to be a bit of a hyper out of control, had a lot of authority issues. So I gave them my fair share of problems, and they are listening to this. I just want to kind of apologize to them. But one of my great bosses was, her name is Joni Lynch, my first boss out of college. She got married and her name is now Joni. Her last name is really long, so I won't pronounce it. She really had strong fundamentals of how to run an accounting department, and she was really keen on detail and all of that. Really knew how to do everything, especially talk to the superiors, such as our CFOs as well as department heads. And just by working with her, I got a lot of opportunities to see how things were done, how this should be done, how to talk to people, and all of that. And like I said, because of my authority issues at the time, I don't think she ever got to realize how much I appreciated what I had learned. So she was my best boss.
Props for, again, both coming out with that. It's not easy to talk about stuff like that. So thank you for that. So who won? We're at the end. Now, these people have made it look quite easy, but it's actually harder than it looks. But only one of these Funksters can go through to the quarterfinals. And to help us decide, you, the listener, will be taking part in a Twitter poll. So if you go look below the show notes, there will be a link, and somewhere in that link there'll be a tweet, and go, if you think Kerry needs to go through, vote for Kerry, and if you think Kam needs to go through, vote for Kam. It's that simple. And so we will be seeing one of these sheriffs in the next round. Kerry, how can we find out more about you and contact you?
Well, I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn as Kerry Wekelo.
That's easy. I like you. And Kam, how can we find out more about you?
You can find out more about me at my website, mindlily.com. That's mindlily.com. And I've got a free gift for your viewers over there, so they'll have to go there to find out.
Go there and find out. Fantastic. Kerry and Kam, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hi, thanks so much for making it to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. I have a few people you might want to share it with. Your partner, your parents, your grandma and granddad, your neighbours, your hairdresser, your tea lady, your gym instructor, your swimming coach, postman, the bin man, your cat, your dog, Father Christmas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, Cristiano Ronaldo.